It is Sunday, September the 1st. We are back down in Red River Gorge. Planning on doing a loop Sunday evening. We probably won't, it's almost 5 o'clock. We'll try to get 2 or 3 miles in this evening, figure out a place to camp, and then continue it tomorrow. It's still a little up in the air where we're going, but we're starting at the Gray's Arch trailhead. We'll plan on heading down Pincham Tight and maybe hit Buck Trail or Hanson's Point, but I'll keep you informed. We're heading out Pincham Tight. Got Scott and Isaac up there in front. Shelby, Scott's daughter, is back in behind me. We're going to decide here in a few minutes whether we're going to go right on Buck Trail or whether we're going to keep on going. This trail's pretty cruisy, almost sand under your feet. Starting to get a little, kind of some views over to the side, but nothing spectacular as of yet. But a little hot, but shade and a little bit of a breeze. Not a bad evening. It's about 7 in the evening. We're getting set up. Isaac's over there in his hammock. Shelby there in her hammock, trying to hide. Scott in his one-man mountaineering tent right there, set up. I'm back here and on its maiden voyage, the Gossamer gear, the 2. So I got just a Tyvek ground sheet set up there. We did end up hiking down Buck Trail a ways and set up camp there. Inside, I'm trying a REI Cirrus pad that I have. It's 20 inches wide. I'm debating on a different pad such as the Nemo Tensor insulated. I'm debating on the 25 inch versus the 20 inch. I will probably end up going with the 25 inch, but I wanted to try this 20 inch pad out and see how it worked. So that's a setup for this evening. Sun's getting ready to set over there. We're debating whether we're going to have any rain, but I guess we'll find out. So dinner this evening is Peak Refuel sweet pork and rice. I've had it before, pretty tasty. I think Shelby had pasta sides over there. Isaac, I'm not sure what he ate. And Scott is eating some, hold that up here, Scott. Some natural Jif with honey. And I did have a little bit of that with a tortilla, and it was pretty tasty. So eating like kings this evening. Well, good morning. It's about 7 o'clock. Getting ready to get up, starting to pack up. I've got my sleeping pad and my top quilt packed up. I didn't sleep all that great last night. The way the ground seemed to lay under the tent almost made it like there was an arch in my back. It didn't help. I think I had the sleeping pad overinflated for a period of time too. I did made some adjustments in the night. I flipped around to the other end of the tent, and that did seem to help. The Gossamer gear, the 2, was spacious inside. There's a lot of room. I do need to kind of figure out how to pull the side panels out a little better to pull those up, but it wasn't a problem. We didn't have any rain, so they believe both the vestibules pretty well open and got plenty of airflow. It does take up a good bit of real estate on the ground though. So we're getting packed up, we'll get some breakfast, and then we'll head out in a bit. We're making our way down Buck Trail this morning. Sun peeking through the trees up there. We got a descent a bit down to the creek, and then a good bit of elevation gain after that. We're hoping there's water at the creek because it's not quite dry. Shelby's been hoarding all the water back here, but other than that, just traversing along in the shade. Not too bad. Cool this morning. We made it down to the creek at Buck Trail. It's still flowing pretty good. We're able to filter some water, camel up a little bit. We got a bit of a climb, 2 or so miles to our next water source. The creek heads on down that way. So we're only about less than a mile in for the day. We head up that way to continue our hike. So we're heading up out of on Buck Trail out of the creek, pretty steep, good bit of elevation gain. So breathing a little heavy, except Isaac. He's a beast. But other than that, we're working our way back up. We're full of water, so our packs are a little heavier too. Well, we made it to the intersection of Buck Trail and Koomer Ridge. We are heading toward Rough Trail. So according to this in Kentucky miles, 1.25 miles, we've gained, I think we're probably a little over 300 feet of elevation, between 300 and 400 feet of elevation from the creek. We'll get a little sip of water here, keep on trucking over to Rough Trail and get out to Hanson's Point here in a bit, hopefully. So we got a nice snake on the trail. I would say he's probably, what, 3.5 foot long, 3.5 foot? Somewhere thereabouts. He's working his way up through here.
What is that, just a black snake?
We think it's just a black snake. Is it a black mamba?
No.
You only see those in Linville Gorge.
Doing his little snake thing.
Yeah, he's just working his way off the trail. He's taking a good old time. All right, we're starting our descent down Koomer Ridge. We're up to around 1,100 feet elevation, total of about 450 foot elevation gain. So we're working our way back down the creek, and then we should meet Rough Trail down there somewhere. So we're heading down Koomer Ridge. I come across this little interesting beauty here. Scott, do you think this is the one that has a weird name to it?
Big Head Rock?
Big Head Rock? Yeah, maybe.
I can see it, right?
You kind of see there to the right, maybe a nose and a something. I don't know. So after further investigation, we think this is actually Bughead Rock. Although we can't really see a bughead. It is pretty narrow across the base there. And then it widens out as you go up. We're here in front of it. I can't really back up more because the terrain drops off, but Scott's trying to figure out a way that he could climb it without killing himself. Any success there, Scott?
No, it'll probably break.
It'll probably break on you. So we made it back down to the creek. We're at around 700 feet elevation, so we've dropped over 400 feet. Interesting boulder there. Isaac must think it's a pack off break. So we should be getting close to the intersection of Rough Trail here soon, I would think. Well, we're now on Rough Trail. We just passed the intersection down there by the creek. We're still walking kind of along the creek now, making our way across and get some elevation gain here in a bit. And then after we get back past the intersection, I guess, of Pincham Tight, we should be pretty close to heading out to Hanson's Point at that time. So might be about lunchtime, maybe lunchtime at Hanson's Point. That's the plan anyway. The Sheltowee split off back there at the creek, and so we're continuing on Rough Trail now. We'll have to get some elevation gain here in a bit, but kind of hiking along the creek and some crossings here. So keep working our way up. So we're almost to the intersection from Rough Trail and Pincham Tight, correct? They found some shade across the way there. So a lot of carvings in these rock here. Signature rock, potentially. I'm sure there's some inappropriate carving, so I apologize if any of those end up in the shot. We're making our way out to Hanson's Point. So if you can see, we're not quite out there yet. About the middle of your screen now is Chimney Rock. There's Half Moon. All right, so here we're coming out to Hanson's Point. Got a little breeze out here, which is nice. Still pretty warm out. Not quite out to the point yet, but there's Chimney Rock there. At about the middle of your screen in the distance there, that's Cloud Splitter. It's beautiful out here. Been out here several different times of the year. Sometimes when it's been a little rainy and there's a nice fog down in the valley, that creates a interesting views, interesting atmosphere. Of course, it's the middle of the summer now. Going out, there's these rock faces that you kind of skirt around. Passed a couple people on the trail, but really hardly anybody today, which is surprising for it being a holiday. We're out here at the end of Hanson's Point. Again, that's Chimney Rock there. There's Cloud Splitter there. So Scott, you called that's Pinch 'em Tight over there? So that ridge that goes out there kind of on the left side of your screen and goes down, that's that Pinch 'em Tight ridge. We're wondering if we could get through that saddle up to that next area or not. That may be the adventure for another day. We decided to head out to Pinch 'em Tight and see if we can get through the gap. Just explore out there for a little bit. And then as we head back, instead of going over to Rush Ridge, our plan is to return to the Pinch 'em Tight trail and head back to the car and then to pizza. So we're out at Pinch 'em Tight. There's Hanson's Point over there where we were just not long ago. So it comes around here. We've come down these areas up here. And now we're going to see what we can do about how far we can get down this way. There are a couple other ledges on down there. Not sure how far we can make it. And then the question is if we do get through the gap, what do we do over there? So that's the dilemma, but we'll see. So we're going to try to shimmy down through this chimney on down to that next level where Scott is down there. Scott was a pretty tight squeeze, and I think he's a little thinner than I am, so I might get stuck, and he's going to try to catch it on video if we do. But we will see.
Oh yeah, that's too green, so.
Well, we just came down through that gap there. We were on up there earlier. So now we're going to head down this way further. See what we can figure out. We made it through the gap, but then we come to this rock face. We explored it both to the left and to the right and really didn't find a feasible way for us to get up there today. It would require something beyond Scott's equipment level and my skill level. So
not today.
So not today. We made it back to pinch 'em tight. I think I was saying pinch in earlier. Felt like we had to pinch 'em in at times. But we're back on pinch 'em tight, heading back toward the car. And then I'm gonna get maybe cleaned up a little bit, not a lot. And then head for some pizza, and then we'll head home from there. We've made it back to Gray's Arch Trailhead. It appears the car is still here, so that's always a good sign. We're gonna get cleaned up a bit, wait on Scott and Shelby, and then head and find something to eat. All right, Isaac, we're at Miguel's. What I'd like to know is, what was your favorite part of this hike? Hanson's Point. What about Hanson's Point was your favorite?
It looked cool.
It looked cool. All right. Move to Scott next.
And then you're a freshman.
I guess we're moving to Shelby next.
I found out,
Camera face.
what was my camera face? When I found out I was hiking with 2 prom kings, not just one, but 2.
That is amazing.
That's all I got.
I don't.
All of the majesty.
Hanson's Point was pretty.
Yeah, Hanson's Point's pretty cool. That's always a popular favorite. All right, Scott's thinking about it. The camera's getting him back to him.
I like the off-trail adventure. We tried to go up to Pinch and Ridge.
Yeah,
The scramble through the chimneys. That was exciting.
yeah. Those
I always
videos.
enjoyed that.
Yeah, I thought that was a nice adventure, except for the wounds evidence. All right.
How about Todd?
All right, so my favorite part was probably also the off-trail adventure out Pinch 'em Tight. I like Hanson's Point, and it's always cool. I've been out there a few times though, so this was a little different, and it was a little challenging. I need to slim down a little bit to fit through some of those crevices next time, but that was fun. So it was
Learned the belly
exciting.
jam.
Yeah, learned the belly jam, as Scott says. So that was my favorite part. So this was our adventure. We started at the Gray's Arch picnic area. Then we went out, Pinch 'em Tight, followed it out, and then hit the brush trail, or buck trail. Followed it down. We camped right about here on night 1. Followed it on down to where we met Koomer Ridge. We headed up Koomer Ridge, followed it all the way till we hit Rough Trail, took it over, and then followed it all the way over this way. And then as we got back, we continued on Rough Trail there, and then headed out first to Hanson's Point, and then we went out Pinch 'em Tight, and then made our way back on the Rough Trail, back to Pinch 'em Tight, and back to the car. So this is typically our tradition as we finish off a couple days of hiking. We're hitting Miguel's Pizza. I'm gonna take that in. So hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next adventure.